I always felt uneasy in the basement of our house. Too dark, too damp, and the smell of dampness seemed to breathe itself. But when the power went out, and the switch was right there was no choice. I went down with a flashlight. The beam of light jumped along the walls, picking out old boxes, shelves, and cobwebs. Something was dripping in the distance, the sound echoing dully in the silence. When I approached the switchboard, it dawned on me I had definitely left the door to the basement open, but now it was closed. I turned around sharply, and the light of the flashlight picked out something from the darkness. No, someone. It was a silhouette, motionless, in the corner. It became difficult to breathe, my fingers trembled, the flashlight crackled. The figure took a step forward, and the flashlight flickered before going out completely. I screamed, blindly moving towards the stairs. When I started to climb it, something grabbed my ankle. I broke free, ran upstairs, and locked the door. But here's the weird thing, when the police arrived, they said there was no basement under the house. When our parents went away for the weekend, my brother Josh and I were alone in the house. It was about midnight when the lights flickered. Josh joked that the house was probably trying to scare us. But a few minutes later, we heard a sound of faint thumping, like someone was walking around in the attic. The thumping got louder, and then turned into muffled footsteps. It wasn't funny anymore. We grabbed a baseball bat and a flashlight, and Josh suggested we check the attic. As he opened the hatch and started to climb up, the lights went out. In the pitch blackness, I heard him exhale sharply. "Do you see something?" I whispered. "Yeah. It's looking at us," he said. I turned on the flashlight and pointed it at it. But it wasn't my brother. It just looked like him, with dead white eyes and a creepy, too wide smile.
Jessica woke up in the middle of the night from a strange sound. The house was silent, broken only by the creaking of floorboards somewhere on the first floor. She looked at her watch, 2:47 a.m. All the windows were closed and the doors were locked, but the sound was getting closer, as if someone was walking around the house. Her heart began to beat faster. Taking her phone from the nightstand, she turned on the flashlight. The footsteps died away as soon as a beam of light cut through the darkness of the room. Jessica slowly went downstairs, keeping close to the wall. The living room was empty, but she felt a cool draft. The door to the basement was slightly open. The light of the flashlight illuminated the stairs below. There was a flash of something down there, like someone's eyes. Her breath froze in her chest, and suddenly from the darkness came a whisper. "Do you hear it too?" Jessica turned sharply, and in the reflection of the mirror by the stairs, she saw herself. But from the other side, her reflection smiled, and then extended a hand through the glass. The light from the flashlight went out. I always considered myself a skeptic. The house I rented for a couple of months in a small American town seemed perfect. Old, with a wooden porch, creaky floorboards, and windows that looked out onto a dense forest. But on the first night, I realized that something was wrong. I woke up from a strange sound. It was a quiet whisper, barely audible, as if someone was talking in another room. I took my phone, turned on the flashlight, and carefully left the bedroom. The house was quiet, but the whisper did not disappear. It was getting closer, as if someone was moving with me. In the kitchen, I noticed that the refrigerator door was ajar. I clearly remembered closing it before going to bed. Then I heard a sharp knock behind me. Turning around, I saw the rocking chair in the corner of the living room begin to rock slowly, although I certainly hadn't gone near it. My fingers trembled. I stepped back, and the flashlight illuminated the mirror on the wall. In the reflection, behind me, I saw a woman. Her face was hidden by long, tangled hair. She stood motionless. Her figure seemed to dissolve in the darkness. I turned around sharply, but there was no one behind me. A moment later, I heard a hoarse whisper right next to my ear. "You came at the wrong time." The flashlight flickered and went out, And I realized that I was not alone in this house.